Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me on this video. Welcome back if you're already a subscriber. If not, I hope you enjoy this video and want to subscribe. So for today's video, we have a really cool topic I want to talk about, and it's 5 different things you may not have known about Corvettes. Now, if you're a Corvette buff like me, you just love to know all types of tidbit information on Corvettes. And these are 5 things that I didn't even know I had never heard of, and I thought I might share with you guys and make a fun video out of it. So let's go ahead and start. Alrighty, let's start with number 1. How did Corvettes come up with that name? How did they come by being named the Corvette? And it's actually due to Myron Scott. He was a journalist at the time that Corvettes were first being theorized, and he came up with the Corvette because he liked the way it rolled off of his tongue. Corvettes have actually been around for a long time, and they were actual naval warships. They've been around since the 1800s, and they are given to a warship that has a lot of agility and speed, but yet packs a huge punch. So it actually is quite fitting that Corvettes are given that because they pack a huge punch. They have a hard-hitting V8 at their epicenter, yet they are still fairly agile and quick around a track. So it really did fit the bill for being used. But he liked also the way Corvette sounds, and I actually do too. So I think it's quite fitting for the naming of the vehicle. So I'm really happy that that's how it ended up playing out. Number 2, what was the largest engine ever produced for the Corvette? And it actually was a 7.4 liter engine for the 1970 to 1974 Corvette range. It produced about 275 horsepower, which is pretty shocking. They always say no replacement for displacement, but that's a pretty shockingly low number. Now, given that it was the 1970s, I guess that's fairly understandable, but at 454 cubic inches, it really was a monstrous engine that wasn't that efficient on creating horsepower, but nonetheless, it was the largest engine ever produced for a Corvette so far. Now, the third unknown fact is something you might actually be aware of, and it's the magnetic control ride system. It was debuted in 2003 by Chevrolet. Ever since then, it's grown exponentially, especially across car manufacturers, all the way up to Ferrari. Ferrari uses it in several of their cars, and it's just used all across the board. And since it debuted in 2003, it's grown in sophistication, all the way up to today, that it now will actually change the dampering controls 1,000 times per second. That's just extremely fast, and it allows it to read the road conditions very quickly. And to give you perspective on this, it actually will read every inch of the road when a vehicle is driving 60 miles an hour. So every single inch that a vehicle crosses, it will examine the road condition and change the dampering settings for that exact inch of road. So it's pretty amazing what it's able to do, and it also allows you to have all these selective rides, so you can have stiffer or softer settings, which helps with overall daily drivability for a car. You know, sports cars like the Corvette now can be driven almost daily because they have soft settings all the way up to race mode, very stiff suspension settings, all in one suspension. So it really is an incredible system. Number 4, and that is that the Chevrolet Corvette is the first American vehicle to ever have 1 horsepower per 1 cubic inch of engine space. And so that was a really cool figure that they were able to hit, and they actually hit it on the C1 Corvette back in 1957. So the 1957 C1 Corvette had a 283 cubic inch V8, and for that it obviously produced 283 horsepower. And at that time, that was a really quick car. It did 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. That's still pretty quick for today. That would outrun my everyday Acura TL. So it really was an amazing feat that they were able to accomplish. And that car would even do the quarter mile in 14.3 seconds. Not too bad, Chevy, not too bad. Now, the 5th and final unknown fact is going to revolve around the 1969 Chevrolet Corvette. That was a very popular year. It was back when the original form of the Stingray existed, and that was the platform that was used to base the new C7 platform, obviously the Stingrays. But at the time, there was an option that was the ZL1 option, and a lot of people are not familiar with this option, and only 2 were ever produced. And the ZL1 option added some performance and some track extras onto the vehicle. But the reason only 2 were built is because not of limitations, but because only 2 were actually ordered. Now, the reasoning for that is in 1969, the Chevrolet Corvette was MSRP'd at about $4,000 and some change. The ZL1 package to add on top of that was over $5,000. To give you perspective, that means if you went out and purchased today a $60,000 Stingray Corvette, it would be like adding on a $70,000 package. Not many people are willing to part with that much extra money on top of an already fairly expensive vehicle. And that's what led to such a low production amount of only 2. But over time, as with anything that's very limited, that car has become very, very expensive and actually went for $1.4 million at one auction. One of those really cool fun facts that a lot of people aren't aware of that existed. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this video. I had a lot of fun, and smash that like button if you did not know all of these fun facts. There were definitely things I was unfamiliar with, and I thought they were really cool, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, smash that like button if you did enjoy this video. Subscribe if you're already not a part of our family. We just continue to grow and are having so much fun making these videos, and we appreciate all of your support. You all have a great day, and take care.